The city is silent, but not safe. Above the clouds, two shadows move, each carrying the power to shape the world. Tonight, Metropolis won't be saved, it will be tested. The night sky is alive with thunder. Lightning splits the heavens like angry scars flashing against the steel towers of Metropolis. Every strike lights the streets below, but the streets are not alive tonight. Empty cars sit abandoned at traffic lights, newspapers flutter across sidewalks, and neon signs buzz in silence. The city feels frozen, holding its breath as if it knows something is coming. The storm is not natural. It's heavier, darker, pulsing with energy that doesn't belong to the earth. Far above, a figure hovers. His cape sways gently, catching the wind of the storm. His eyes scan the city with quiet sadness. This is Supermen, the symbol of hope, the protector, the man who carries the weight of every life in Metropolis. His expression is calm, but his body is tense, every muscle waiting for the fight he hoped would never come. He knows who is out there. He knows who he must face. And then the second shadow appears. The air shakes as another Superman drops from the clouds, landing on the rooftop opposite the first. But this one is not the same. His cape is torn, his eyes burn like fire, and his smile carries something dangerous, something cruel. He is the reflection of Superman, but twisted. Not weakened, not broken, but different. His ideals, his vision of justice, his way of protecting humanity warped into something darker. For a long moment, they simply stare at each other across the rooftop. Rain falls between them, sizzling as it touches the heat of their eyes. The first Superman speaks, his voice low, carried by the wind. You don't belong here. The city doesn't need fear. It needs hope, the other Superman answers with silence. His red eyes narrow, glowing brighter. The storm rumbles louder, almost as if it responds to his anger. And then a whisper escapes him, soft but sharp enough to cut through the storm. Hope is weak. Fear will keep them safe. The tension is unbearable. Every second feels stretched. The storm grows louder, lightning flashing faster, thunder shaking the glass in the towers around them. And then it begins. Not with a punch, not with a scream, but with a single step forward. The corrupted Superman moves, his boots crushing the rooftop beneath him, and the first Superman braces. The fight is no longer a question. It is a certainty. With a sudden burst, both launch into the air. The city below trembles as shockwaves ripple out. Lights flicker across the skyline. The fight for Metropolis has begun, not between hero and villain, but between two gods who once shared the same face. The storm splits wide open as both Supermen collide midair, and the sound is like the sky itself shattering. Windows explode outward in a chain reaction across the nearest towers, glass raining down like a glittering storm onto the deserted streets below. Their first strike is not just a punch, it's a collision of two forces that were never meant to meet. The city trembles beneath them, as if Metropolis itself is caught in the crossfire. They don't speak. There are no words that can solve this. Only fist, speed, and raw power. The corrupted Superman moves first, faster than the lightning that streaks across the sky. His punch whips the air into a sonic boom, and the heroic Superman is driven backward, smashing through a billboard that crumbles under the impact. Sparks fly, the sign flickers, and the storm paints everything in flashes of white and crimson. Superman steadies himself, shaking off the hit. His jaw is set, his eyes glow faintly with heat. In a burst of speed, he launches forward, ramming his shoulder into his counterpart's chest. The force sends the dark twin crashing into a nearby skyscraper. Concrete and steel groan as the wall caves inward, entire office floors collapsing like a house of cards. But before the rubble even settles, red eyes burn through the dust. A figure emerges, unshaken. The corrupted Superman bursts out of the wreckage, faster, angrier. He rockets upward, grabbing his opponent mid-flight, and slams him down through the roof of another building. Floors shatter like glass as they crash down level by level. Papers, desks, and fragments of glass scatter in a hurricane of destruction. Then, in an instant, they explode back out of the building, ripping into the storm above. The air becomes a battlefield. Each movement cracks the sound barrier. Each strike echoes for miles. They move too fast for the human eye, two streaks, one red and blue, one darker, shadowed, clashing again and again. Heat vision cuts through the sky, beams crossing like fiery swords. When they meet, the beams explode in a blinding white light, vaporizing raindrops in midair and sending shockwaves that rattle the ground. Down below, the city suffers. The empty streets crack open as debris rains from above. Cars are tossed aside as if weightless. Traffic lights swing violently, glowing in the storm like warning signs no one can see. Even from the rooftops, gargoyles crumble, statues fall, and windows burst, leaving Metropolis scarred with every second of their fight. The heroic Superman tries to push the battle higher, away from the city. He soars upward, fists swinging, driving his twin further into the clouds. For a moment, it seems to work. Thunder swallows their struggle as they vanish into the storm. But then, like meteors, they drop again, locked in combat, falling back toward the city at terrifying speed. When they crash onto the streets, the earth cracks open. Asphalt breaks, cars flip, and storefronts collapse in a chain reaction. Dust and smoke swallow the block. In the haze they rise again, both unstoppable, both unrelenting. One stands with clenched fists, his breathing heavy but steady. The other grins through the chaos, his voice dripping with cold satisfaction. "You're holding back," the words cut deep. Superman knows they're true. He cannot fight at full strength, not here, not with the city around him. Every punch he throws must be measured, every move controlled, because Metropolis is not just a battlefield, it's his home. But his opponent has no such restraint. The corrupted Superman fights without hesitation, without care for the lives below. Each strike fueled by the belief that fear will bring order. And so the fight tilts. Every exchange pushes the heroic Superman backward, forcing him to defend, forcing him to endure. Still, he refuses to give in. Through every hit, every blow, every collapse of steel and stone, he clings to the one truth that has always guided him. Hope is stronger than fear. The section closes with both Supermen launching forward once more, their fists colliding in the center of the street. The impact ripples outward, shattering glass for blocks, sending shockwaves through the storm. The city holds its breath as the battle enters its next stage, the storm above raging as if it, too, cannot decide which Superman will prevail. The city is no longer just a backdrop. It has become part of the fight. Metropolis shakes under every strike, the skyline glowing with the violent dance of two gods who were once the same man. The storm above is no longer natural thunder, it has turned into a reflection of their battle, with lightning striking where their fists collide and thunder answering their roars. The heroic Superman charges first, desperate to shift the momentum. His fist connects, sending his corrupted twin through 3 parked buses in a row. The metal twists like paper, exploding into showers of sparks and flames. But before the smoke can settle, red beams cut through the wreckage, heat vision slicing across the street like blades of fire. The heroic Superman twists in midair, dodging narrowly. But the beams tear open the asphalt, carving molten scars through the heart of the city. With a furious yell, the corrupted Superman shoots forward, faster than sound, tackling his rival through an entire block of buildings. The crash as deafening offices explode into dust. Glass rains from shattered towers and flames bloom from ruptured gas lines. In the rubble, they clash again, fists colliding with force that sends shockwaves racing down streets, toppling lampposts, rattling every window for miles. The heroic Superman digs deep, slamming his opponent upward into the sky. They rocket through the storm clouds, disappearing in a blur of red and blue. Lightning bursts around them, illuminating their silhouettes as they trade blows high above the city. The clouds tear apart under their struggle, exposing the moon for only a moment before darkness swallows it again. Each strike is faster, heavier, more desperate. The air itself quakes as if it cannot contain them, and then they fall. Locked in combat, they plummet back toward the earth, spinning like a meteor of flesh and fury. The impact is catastrophic. The ground splits open, asphalt rising in jagged waves, shockwaves rattling the bones of every building nearby. Dust clouds erupt skyward, swallowing whole city blocks in gray, but neither stays down. The corrupted Superman rises with laughter dark, echoing, triumphant. His grin is cruel as he wipes blood from his lip, unfazed by the destruction around him. "This is what they need," he growls, voice cutting through the storm like a blade. "Fear will keep them safe. Fear will make them obey." Superman answers with silence. His eyes glow, brighter now, burning with conviction. He unleashes his heat vision in twin beams of blazing red, colliding against his counterpart's own. The air between them erupts in fire and smoke, the two beams locked in a deadly contest of will. Sparks crackle as the beams grind against each other, neither giving way. The clash lights up the streets like a second sun, every window reflecting the fiery duel. At last, the explosion rips them apart, hurling both backward. They slam into opposite ends of the street, rubble scattering around them. Superman pulls himself up slowly, his chest rising and falling with labored breaths. He glances around. The destruction is spreading. Craters mark the streets, towers sag under their wounds, flames eat through abandoned cars. His heart sinks. He cannot keep fighting like this. Every moment endangers the city he swore to protect, but the corrupted Superman feels no such burden. He thrives in the chaos. He rockets forward again, fists blurring in a flurry of relentless strikes. Each blow forces the heroic Superman back, each hit heavier than the last. The sound of their clash is endless metal twisting, stone cracking, thunder booming. The corrupted twin fights with no restraint, no hesitation. Every strike carrying the fury of a god unchained. The heroic Superman blocks, dodges, endures. His body aches, his mind screams, but his heart refuses to bend. With a sudden surge of strength, he counters, landing an uppercut that sends his twin flying through an overpass. Concrete crumbles as the structure collapses, cars crashing down in a rain of steel. Dust swallows the battlefield again, but Superman does not stop. He soars through the debris, colliding with his counterpart mid-air, and together they tear through the skyline in a streak of destruction. The battle escalates beyond fists and beams. Sonic booms echo across the city. Shockwaves ripple through the storm. Fire burns across rooftops. Metropolis has become a war zone, its once bright towers dimmed under the chaos. And still, neither Superman yields. Each strike is harder, faster, louder, an endless storm of strength clashing against strength, ideals clashing against ideals. The section closes with both Supermen colliding in the center of the city once again, fists smashing together with the force of an earthquake. The ground shakes, the storm roars, and a crater swallows the block around them. Neither has fallen. Neither has won. But both know the fight has only just begun. The crater smolders. Smoke rises from the shattered street, swirling around two figures standing at its heart. One breathes heavy, his body bruised, his cape torn but still carrying the weight of hope. The other stands tall, his grin sharper than any blade, eyes burning with a relentless fire. The city around them is unrecognizable, a war zone of broken towers, burning cars, and streets carved open by their fury. Yet neither looks at the destruction. Their focus is only on each other. The corrupted Superman breaks the silence first, stepping forward, boots cracking stone beneath him. His voice is calm, almost mocking. "Look at them. Look at this city. You try to protect them, but every second you fight me, more of it crumbles. You're weak." "Because you care?" The heroic Superman straightens, his chest rising with ragged breaths. His fists tighten. His reply is simple, but unshaken. "That's why I'll win." They collide again, but this time it is not just fists. It is everything they have left. The air detonates as they strike, the shockwave racing outward in all directions. Buildings sway like trees in a storm. Street lamps snap in half. The sound is deafening, an endless roar as if the world itself screams. Under their power, the corrupted Superman moves with savage precision. He throws a barrage of punches, each one carrying enough force to shatter steel, and each one lands. Superman staggers, his body breaking under the assault, driven backward across the ruins. But just as the corrupted twin rears back for a final blow, Superman counters, his fist surging upward in a perfect arc, striking his opponent's jaw with the strength of every ounce of hope he carries, the corrupted Superman is launched into the sky, vanishing into the storm above. For a heartbeat there is silence. Only rain and thunder remain. Superman stumbles, his knees threatening to give way, his chest heaving. He looks around at the devastation, the broken homes, the scarred streets, the fires that rage unchecked. His face tightens. This is what holding back has cost him. Then the sky ignites. A beam of red fire cuts through the storm, tearing downward. The corrupted Superman returns like a falling star, smashing into Superman with such force that the ground caves in again, swallowing them both into the crater. Dust erupts outward like an explosion, blanketing the block. When it clears, the two stand once more, battered and bruised, facing each other like reflections that refuse to break. Slow motion takes hold. The heroic Superman lunges, his cape trailing like a banner of defiance. The corrupted Superman mirrors him, his grin fading into raw determination. Their fists draw back, muscles flexing, eyes glowing. Reins suspended in the air around them dot and then impact. The world goes white. A blinding flash consumes the frame, swallowing the city, the storm, the fighters themselves. The sound fades to silence, leaving only the echo of their clash reverberating like thunder from another world. When the light dims, the screen is black, a heartbeat passes. Then text fades onto the screen, bold and uncheckable. Superman vs. Superman 2025. Who will stand? A faint echo of their fists colliding plays again, followed by silence. Only the distant rumble of thunder lingers, leaving the audience with one final question. The world has seen them fight. But can it survive their war? Fade out.